Okay, dear participants, welcome back.
Уважаемые участники, давайте продолжим наш форум. У нас заключительная, но не менее важная сессия о партнерстве в выполнении целей устойчивого развития. Не теряя времени, я хотела бы передать слово
Head of the Department of Strategic Sustainable Development of the Ministry of Finance and Economy of Turkmenistan, who is our co-organizer of this forum this year. Mr. Atajan Atayev, the floor is yours.
Спасибо, Наталья.
Thank you, Natalia. Distinguished ladies and gents, dear participants, today we have already touched upon a number of topics, and this is session number 8. Here we will discuss partnership for transboundary communication and exchange of best practices in Central Asia, trade and investment, technology and innovation, one of them. And it is expected that the discussion will promote exchange of national experiences and establishment national partnership on transboundary links and strengthening our cooperation, developing potential partners for regional and inter-regional trade, as well as for technology and innovation development, revealing transboundary issues in SDG implementation and how we could overcome these issues. Also, this topic, this session will be split in two, after which we will be back to the plenary session. Also, please mute your microphones unless you are not talking. If you have questions, send them to the chat. For further activities, Natalia, you would like to add something, or I will continue?
No, please continue.
Так, далее хотел бы передать
слово further on, I would like to give a floor
руководителя субрегионального отделения для Северной и Центральной Азии ESCAP. Она имеет обширный опыт в области передачи технологий и прямых иностранных инвестиций, также в сфере инновационной политики с упором на экологически безопасные технологии. Итак, пожалуйста, госпожа Инамото.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atajan Atayev. Valentin, could you kindly share the slide, please? My name is Michiko Enomoto. I am a Deputy Head, Sub-Regional Office for North and Central Asia, SONCA, of the UN ESCAP. On behalf of SONCA, I would like to make a brief introduction on the status of SDG in North and Central Asia. Next slide, please. SDG17 refers to the need for partnerships and cooperation in pursuit of all goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. SDG17 indeed has a very wide range of targets and indicators, such as finance, technology, capacity building, trade and systemic issues, such as policy coherence, multi-stakeholder partnership, and data. In earlier sessions, we have discussed about SDG data, especially linking them to the process of voluntary national reviews, and we have also discussed innovative financing mechanisms that can be considered by countries to finance SDG implementation. In this session, we look more in details on specific aspects of cross-border connectivity and knowledge sharing for North and Central Asia, namely trade and investment and technology and innovation. Next slide, please. We have two important questions to ask. How much progress have we made to achieve SDG 17 by 2030? Are we going to achieve our targets for SDG 17 by 2030 if we continue business as usual? These are the two questions we are going to ask in this session. Next slide, please. This graph shows the progress of each SDG at the indicator level. Unfortunately, North and Central Asia is not doing very well. In fact, if we continue business as usual, North and Central Asia will only achieve one target of all SDG 17 by 2030, only one, which is SDG 10, reduced inequalities. That is exceeding. Next slide, please. So this graph shows a detailed view of the progress of each SDGs at the indicator level. In the rounded circle area for SDG 17, this is a topic of our discussion of this session. In fact, the Central Asia will also only achieve only target, which is a capacity building for ICT by 2030, if we continue what we are doing now. So next slide, please. So this is a more detailed view of SDG 17 indicators. Out of 24 indicators under Goal 17, in fact, half of the indicators have insufficient or no data for Central Asia. In fact, North and Central Asia's biggest challenge is that the region does not have appropriate internationally compatible data to measure the progress. Next slide, please. So this shows the data availability for North and Central Asia, which differs across the indicators and across countries. And as shown in this heat map, darker colors indicate higher availability of data. Next slide, please. In past 1.5 years, the world has been suffering from the unprecedented challenges related to COVID-19 pandemic. Central Asia is not the exception. Over the various stages of COVID-19, we learned that the partnerships, collaboration, and multi-stakeholder consultations and corporations
многостороннего профиля являются важными для стран.
They align socio-economic dynamics with the principles of sustainable development. This is especially the case for the Central Asia and North Asia, because North and Central Asia are landlocked countries which are dependent on neighboring countries and transit corridors to receive goods and services that complement domestic supply. Trade and investment are the key features of Goal 17 and the priority areas for countries in North and Central Asia. Situated at the crossroad of Europe and Asia, in fact, North and Central Asia is a sub-region which has immense trading potential, which is currently hindered by connectivity issues, unfortunately. Moving forward, countries need to further enhance implementation of digitalization and sustainability measures in their trade and investment strategies. Technology and innovations are the key factors for structural transformations for the region. In many countries in North and Central Asia, national strategies and initiatives have already been placed to promote technological development and encourage innovation and entrepreneurship. Now, it is important to build local capacities for ICT and enhance partnerships to implement activities related to science, technology, and innovation. Later in this session, we will have the opportunity to have more detailed discussions on these topics. Next slide, please. Before I end the presentation, allow me to reiterate objectives and outcomes of the session to set the stage for the breakout discussions. This session will discuss partnership for cross-border connectivity and knowledge sharing in North and Central Asia. Specifically, we look into the aspects of trade and investment and technology and innovation. The discussions are expected to contribute to sharing of national experiences along with challenges faced, this is very important, in implementing partnerships related to cross-border connectivity and knowledge sharing. Second, identification of cross-border and sub-regional challenges in implementing the SDGs and the means of implementation to overcome these challenges. Third, identification and development of potential partnerships to accelerate sub-regional and regional trade and investment activities, as well as technology and innovation development. And lastly, formulation of potential solutions and mechanisms that can enhance partnership in North and Central Asia, as well as North, South, South-South, and triangular cooperation. All your views are important, so we are very much looking forward to receiving your views and your feedback. Thank you very much. This ends my presentation.
Thank you very much, Michiko. So I will move on now because for this session, we are having breakout rooms, and I want to explain just briefly what the options are. So basically, we have two breakout rooms. The breakout room number 1 will discuss issues of trade and investment. It will be moderated by Mr. Nikolai Pomoshnikov, head of SONCA office. And here we will have first a presentation by Ms. Vitada Anukunvataka and Ms. Vanika Sharma from our Trade and Investment Division at ESCAP. And then we will have discussants, 4 of them, Mr. Sayed Yahya Aklaki, Deputy Secretary General of the Economic Cooperation Organization, Ms. Xinglang Hu, Principal Regional Cooperation Specialist of the Asian Development Bank, Mr. Kuat Joldebekov, Director of Investment Promotion Department of Kazakh Invest, and Ms. Gohar Barsuguyan, Director Integration Department of the Eurasian Economic Commission. Apologies if I mispronounce some of your surnames. So this is the setup for Breakout Group 1. And now I will mention the setup for Breakout Group 2. Here we basically have a breakout group focused on technology and innovation, and it will be moderated by Ms. Michiko Inomoto, the Deputy Head of Office of SONCA ESCAP. And here we will first have a presentation by Ms. Natalia Mocho, Regional Director of ITU Regional Office for CIS, and then also for discussants, Mr. Leonard Efimov, Head of International Relations and Protocol Divisions of the Eurasian Development Bank, Ms. Nino Inokidze, Rector and of Business and Technology University in Georgia, Mr. Kairat Akhmetov, Founder and Director of Corchem Telecom, and Ms. Sabina Abbasova, the Executive Director of Pro-KG Community of Professionals. The breakout groups will have a length of about an hour and a few minutes. So really, the majority of this session will happen in 2 parallel strands, and you should decide which one you want to join. Breakout Group 1, Trade and Investment. Breakout Group 2, Technology and Innovation. If you want to be in Breakout Group 1 for Trade and Investment, you stay here in this room. You don't need to do anything. If you want to go to Breakout Room 2, then please see the link on the screen. just click on that link. That means for the duration of this breakout room, you're leaving this meeting, and then we will come back again as a plenary to wrap up and look at what the discussions were in the breakout sessions. So the link also, I believe, are posted in the chat, and you can also see them on the screen. So again, if you want to stay in breakout number 1, please just stay here. If you want to go to breakout number 2, please click on the respective link in the chat. Please do, we do encourage you to really go to breakout room 2 if this is your preferred topic. So, you know, don't see moving out of here and into another meeting as a barrier, because we noticed that in earlier sessions of the forum, a lot of people stayed in the breakout rooms that remained in the main session. So please follow your heart and professional interest and choose the breakout group you want to be in. So with that, I hand over to the moderators of the respective breakout groups. Thank you.